So today I want to continue our conversation about energy centers. As I mentioned yesterday in part 1, energy centers are the chakras through which your soul chooses to ground its energy. Its vibrational spectrum is majority flowing through one, sometimes two of the energy centers. That means that these chakras and these energy centers resonate at the soul's dimension, not the human dimension. So it's a little bit different than just your chakras within your body. So everyone, as I mentioned, presents with one, sometimes two energy centers. First, we'll go right into the fourth energy center. So the fourth energy center is the heart center. This is the center for loving and healing energy. This isn't something that fourth energy center people do as much as this is something who they are. They provide the world with loving and healing energy. Love in its true sense is acceptance. And when we are able to accept where we are, that is true healing. That is coming to terms with where you are so that you can address how you need to work on it. But that is healing. So as much as they often are healers in some form as a career, it's more something that they do. It's the energy that they provide to those around them. They are incredibly kind, caring people. So this often gets them into trouble, and they often feel kind of weakened by this energy, by this power, but it is not a weakness. Being able to love, being able to care, being able to take care of people and let people in should never be a weakness. It becomes a weakness when you don't love yourself first. So that is the ultimate lesson of a fourth energy center person, to love yourself first. When you learn to love yourself first, it is easy to create healthy boundaries, knowing who to help and how much to help. Because there's no sense in giving if you don't have it in you to give it. I always remind fourth energy center people that you cannot give from a half-empty cup. You cannot work with people if you are depleted. It is so important for fourth energy center people to take care of themselves first, so that they have the strength, the love, the acceptance, the healing energy to provide to others. But if they're too focused on everyone else, this can be very, very, very hard to do. So they need to learn that selfishness is actually self-preservation, okay? So taking care of yourself first allows you to do everything with love. Not because you feel like you need to. They often get into this rut where they feel like they need to do everything for everyone, and that is never, ever, ever the case. You are not a martyr. So make sure that everything you're doing with love. And if you're tired, then stop and rest and do what you need to do to take care of yourself. These are people who thrive on relationships, so it's important to remember that alone time can serve a very valuable purpose as well. The next energy center is the fifth chakra, the fifth energy center, which is authentic expression, divine self-expression. So this is all about the throat. This is all about communication, and as well as expression. So who you are, how you embody who you are, how you live out your own words. Are you able to walk the talk? These energy center people make incredible teachers. They make incredible leaders because they have the words and they love to get their point across. They love to learn. They love to take it all in. And in due time, they love to share it with the world. They make incredible teachers. And that is a challenge for them, because I know some fifth energy center people who are afraid to really get up and speak their mind. But they need to learn to trust that they know everything that needs to be known, and that it's time to open up and use their voice, because they will grow, they will evolve the more they use their voice to express themselves. It's a snowball effect. The more they express themselves, the more they become true to themselves, the more powerful they become. So this energy center is all about allowing yourself to truly express yourself and not kind of hide behind the shadows of anyone else. The next energy center is the sixth chakra, sixth energy center. This is a center for divine truth. Of course, it's a center for intuition. It's your third eye. So sixth energy center people are very strong individuals because they see everything as black and white. There is no gray area. There is no sugarcoating. And there is a lot of gray area and sugarcoating in this world. So they can sometimes have a really hard time with things because they see things so clearly. And they can have a hard time understanding that not everyone else does see things that clearly. So there are two different types of ways that the sixth energy center often resonates with people. Sometimes you relate more to one, sometimes you relate to both depending on the situation. So one circumstance is that you feel really empowered. You are very clear on what you see and you have no problem speaking through it and living through it. So the struggle with people who are like this or situations like this is learning that not everyone sees things this clearly. So you need to honor that in other individuals. You need to be careful with the way you say things because diplomacy gets you very far. But when you kind of shoot from the hip with your mouth, that can make things really hard to swallow and people won't listen to you anymore. So it's important to learn to not necessarily sugarcoat things, but to say things delicately in a way that is a little bit more palatable. These are incredibly strong individuals, and it is so important that you follow that truth within you. When you sense something, even if no one else does, know that it's probably true and go with it. The other type of sixth energy center person is one that is the strong silent type. They've often been berated from early age. Think about it. It's really hard for a kid who sees things very clearly but might be surrounded by a lot of adults who don't. They might tell them that they're wrong. They might tell them that they're inappropriate or anything else. And they start to either doubt what it is that they see or they start to just keep their mouths shut and kind of stand in the corner observing very clearly what's going on but not sharing it or not living through it. So the challenge for the sixth energy center person is to feel that truth, to believe that truth that they see and live their lives through it, but also to respect that not everyone else is there quite yet. So you can help them to get there, but you must also honor that not everyone wants to be there or will ever get there. The final energy center, the seventh energy center, is the Crown Chakra. So this is an incredibly empowered, strong individual. These are people who are highly independent, go-getters. They have a strong understanding that they are the creators of their own world. They have a strong understanding that they are capable of absolutely anything. There is this strong sense of divinity within them, and understanding that divinity, they know that they can create anything they want with their lives. They also see that in other people. It's a beautiful energy center. It's a powerful energy center. They need to be really careful though, because they manifest life situations very easily. So they need to be careful of what they're trying to manifest. They can manifest happiness, but they can also manifest misery if that's what they're harping on too much. So they need to be mindful of where they pour their energy. They are incredibly sensitive to the world around them. That means that they have a feeling, a strong feeling of the emotions, of what's going on, of who people are and how people are, which can be a very hard thing to deal with, especially as they grow up. It can be very hard to be a youngster as a seventh energy center person because you have all this power within you and you have all this sensitivity within you, and that's not always an easy thing to cope with as a small child. So even young kids as a seventh energy center tend to look forward to being older when they are able to embrace that degree of power that they have within their lives. They are also highly independent people. Again, that sense of divinity, that sense of capability, makes them very independent. So it's also important for them to learn to connect with other people, but also knowing that they probably kind of reboot their systems with quiet alone time. Long walks by themselves, hot baths, anything quiet and by themselves can be very, very nurturing for a seventh energy center person. So that's all of the energy centers. I hope that you take this information and maybe one or two resonates a lot with you. You're welcome to reach out to me and look into your own energy centers to get an idea of who you are, where your gifts are, where your strengths are, and especially where those red flag imbalances are. Because when those imbalances come up, it's not necessarily saying that you're in a bad position. It is definitely saying that there are certain things that are putting you in that bad position. So maybe as a third energy center person, you're suddenly becoming very critical of everyone around you. That might mean that something's going on in your life that's keeping you unsettled. So it's always so valuable to know what your weaknesses are so that you can stay on top of them, so that you can have greater awareness of where you are in your life and what's working, and more importantly, what's not working. So these energy centers are covered, as mentioned, in your higher purpose reading as well as the soul profile reading, which you can find more at on my website, tulavitahealth.com.